Hey everyone, thanks for tuning back in to mattsteinwade.com. Repetition. Repetition is important. It's funny, people can hear stuff and they hear it again and it's like, oh, I've heard this before. But the funny thing about it, like seminars for instance, we go to seminars, we all talk about prospecting and listing and this and that and whatever, and you've heard pretty much most of it before. But the thing with it is, half of us don't do it. We might have heard it before, but we don't actually do it, or maybe we do it for a bit and we forget about it and we don't do it anymore. And we hear bits and pieces about prospecting. Oh yeah, I've heard all about prospecting. Yeah. But half of us don't do it. And you hear these people that have done great things and they put it down to prospecting and whatever, training and working on yourself and all this stuff. And it's like, and we push it to the side because we've heard it before. But the reason repetition is important is you might be ready at a different point in time to hear a different message. There's been so many times over the years that I've heard something a few times, and just at that moment in your career, you're ready to hear that information and you think, that's what I need to do. And you implement it. This is why repetition is so important. The content doesn't change, you do. So when we hear things over and over again, have an open mind. Think to yourself, am I doing it? Has it worked for other people? Will it work for me? Can I implement it and sustain it? And it's like, I'm probably talking about this because think about all the seminars that you go to and you leave the seminar and you feel amazing. You feel, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. This is brilliant. I'm going to implement this and implement that. And if you surveyed everyone 6 months later, they wouldn't be doing half of the stuff. But then they go to another seminar later and they hear it again and off they go. They're energized. They're like, woo, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to conquer the real estate world. And then they stop doing it again. This is why repetition is very important. Hearing the message over and over and over from people that have done it before, there's like layers to it. And the layers, like I listen to Esther Hicks a lot, and I might hear something on an older CD or a newer CD, and it's sort of the same message, but it just might be something that triggers something, and I accept it at that point in time. This is why you've got to go to these things. For instance, ARIC is coming up. And ARIC has a lot of new people that go to it, and it has certainly a lot of people that go there over and over again, but a large portion of it is new people. But I reckon it's the one conference of the year that every real estate agent should go to, everyone, because it's the best in the industry and overseas, and they source the best. This year they got Donald Trump. Like they source the best people in the world, but relevant to the industry. But there's also, they put a lot of effort into this thing. Steph, John, all of the team put a lot of effort into this one conference. And it's one event that should be locked in your diary as repetition, because there's been so many. Last year at ARIC was a bit of a energy shift for me. And the thing was called Shift Happens, and it certainly did. You know, the speakers were the best. I love them. I've got so much content out of all of them. I've still got my notes and I've read them quite a few times since. But it jerked something. It took me to another place internally. And had I have gone, ARIC, another ARIC, and I've been to stacks of them. Another ARIC, no, I just won't go. But it was the repetition that shifted something in me. So it's all these little things along the way that you've got to have an open mind to. If there's just look for the message in each and every little thing, whether it's this video or something John McGrath's saying or something Lee Woodward's saying or something just maybe an agent, like I'm interviewing Robert Sheehan today, and you might have heard his stuff before. He's doing really well down in Melbourne, but you might have heard some of the stuff before because he's probably taken it from other people and made it his own. But listen to these people, listen to anyone that is doing okay in anything and hear what is helping them do that. Because without that repetition of the message, we might not be ready at that point in time to hear what they have to say. So we listen to it again and again and again. It's like ARIC, get the DVDs and then watch them again later. And you might pick up things that you hadn't heard before. But it's the repetition. that creates the opportunity. That's what I was going to say. It's the repetition that creates the opportunity for you to hear it. And unless you give yourself the opportunity of repeating it, you might miss that little bit of information that you're ready for at that point in time. And it's like the saying goes, the teacher comes when the student is ready. So when we all evolve and go on a different path in our careers, and we're ready for different things at different times, and you just might hear that one thing and bam, away you go. It's just that next idea for your career to take you to the next place. Anyway, so I just want to share that to you. What is it today, this isn't the question of the day, but what is it that you could go back to, whether it's ARIC DVDs, whether it's Hot Topics, whether it's some of the videos on the side, whether it's something, John McGrath's You Inc., anything of those things, or other things also. Nick Stewart, is there anything that from his stuff that you've heard? What else is there? There's a million things out there. There's a million things. Esther Hicks, Law of Attraction, The Secret, any of that stuff. Is there anything you could go back to today and start reviewing again that might be just the thing with where you're at right now? Is there something in your cupboard right now that you can go to, an old book, an old something, and just go over it and take the next bit of information out that might take you to a new place? All right, question of the day. Question of the day. I had it in my mind before I started. Question of the day. Should write it down, shouldn't I? Question of the day. Question of the day. What was it about repetition? Trying to make it relevant too to what I was talking about. Question of the day. That's it. Got it. What's your biggest aha moment you've ever had in real estate or life? Love to hear about it. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, helping make this real estate world a much better place. See you on the next video.